Oh, you'll save money, knock on wood, when you do what a good woodpecker should. Save for a horse or a brand new ranch when you flock to the Glenborough Savings.
Now, would this be classed as episode 3 or episode 4? Because the last one we did was a two-parter. Or should we just not give a fuck?
I don't give a fuck. I don't really care what it is. Do we have to count? Do we have to count them? Do we?
Not by law, no. No. All right, fuck it then. This is the newest episode of us talking bollocks about pop culture.
Now, what shall we talk about?
Well, we're going to be talking about a couple of movies, a couple of classic movies, Stir Crazy and See No Evil, Hear No Evil, with Richard Pryor and Willy Wonka himself, Gene Wilder. Perfect.
I love these two actors. Obviously, they've been around a long time. Well, they're sadly not around anymore. Sadly not with us anymore. No. But obviously, I grew up watching some of these films. Now, you would have thought they'd done a lot more films together with the rapport that they have, but it was only actually 4 movies that they actually did. First one being Silver Streak, which they met. Good film. It's kind of like a sort of Murder on the Orient Express type thing, but on the Silver Streak train. I enjoyed that one, especially when Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor were together. Not a film that would probably be made now, being as there is a part of it where Wilder actually blacks himself up to try and evade capture by the police as he's wanted for murder in a mistaken identity ruse. But very funny and orchestrated, obviously, by Richard Pryor.
Bet, babe, slide a piece of the porter. Drinks, I run the job.
Look at here. I can dig grease and trumpet on some butter and drag him through the garden.
And the last one, which was the weakest of the 4, it was Another You. That was about Gene Wilder being a compulsive liar. Yeah, it had its moments, and it was funny.
I haven't seen the other two, to be honest with you. I knew they only did a few films together, but I haven't got around to seeing the other two.
Silver Streak's definitely worth watching. As I say, but no, I was reading about it. That was when they did meet at that point, and the rapport that was built between them was based around the fact that Richard Pryor quite often went off script when they were sort of doing their dialogue scenes, and Gene Wilder was able to just go with it and come up with some of the best one-liners of that time, and that's how they did it. I think on all the other 3 films they did, Richard Pryor was able to sort of go off script and improvise, and Gene Wilder, brilliant as he is, was able to work around him and obviously still get the funnies in there. Another interesting thing, just before we go into the 2 films, the film Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
Obviously quite a controversial film. Again, another film that certainly wouldn't be made now. Still a film that I do find very funny. I don't know if I should feel ashamed about that, but it was funny. Richard Pryor was the original choice to play Sheriff Bart.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, alongside Gene Wilder as the Waco Kid. And the reason being why it never came about is the studio was unable to get insurance for Richard Pryor due to his arrest history around drugs. That was in the early 70s, so he was uninsurable.
Well, fair enough. Was that after his little fire episode?
No, that was way before.
That was way before, was it?
Yeah, and but which I didn't know until today when I had to look at it. He still remained as one of the 5 screenwriters for Blazing Saddles.
baby, the bloody London bunches missed you. Holy bloody mother of God, Jesus fucking my God, baby, come back to London, nearly hit ya. Oh my God, baby, you alright?
When you come to Stir Crazy, I can remember on one of his stand-ups, one of Richard Pryor doing stand-up, he was talking about him and Gene Wilder while they were filming that, and they actually filmed it in a real prison. and there were inmates in there at the time, and obviously being a bit more street cred than Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor was sort of like concerned quite often, but Gene Wilder just thought it was all lovely.
Well, did he get his strut from someone in the prison? Because when they walk into they go into that prison, the first thing he does is he goes all jarved, doesn't he? He's like, you gotta be mean, you gotta be tough, and he starts strong, don't take no shit, and he starts strutting, don't he? I wonder if that's something he got from one of the inmates and thought, I'll go a little bit Brando with that.
I think that's just Pryor. He already had that cool strut going. But it's comical. And I do want to just say, obviously, I do think that Richard Pryor is and should be recognised as one of the greatest stand-ups of all time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think in terms of stand-up, I know you're a bit more of a fan of the old stand-up comedy than I am. I think the three that I only ever sort of watch or rewatch now is the first two Eddie Murphy ones, which I think, as far as I'm concerned, that they're the best. They're my favourite ones.
Yeah.
But obviously he was heavily influenced by Richard Pryor, so therefore the other stand-up comedy I watch is what's the Richard Pryor one? Is it on Sunset Strip or something like that?
Yeah, that's one of the ones. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the other one I like.
Although I would say probably the closest you've got to that now would be Dave Chappelle.
No longer on Netflix, though.
I didn't know that. Have they kicked him off?
Yeah, it's something to do with his contract, isn't it?
The cone.
Or the royalties, or some bollocks like that. I think he's been stiffed out of a few Benjamins, so therefore, I think he's in a bit of a war.
I'm talking about all the way to the top, yeah. Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in, but the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah. Macho Madness, yeah, has got more to offer than President Jack Tunney thinks.
It's a film that I have seen a number of times over the years. It's something I always go back to, and to be honest, I did watch it just before Christmas. So I wanted to revisit. We were probably in lockdown too, and I just thought, you know where you are with Stir Crazy. Some of my favourite bits in it, it's near the beginning, is Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor are having a drink together. I think they've both been fired from their jobs on the same day, but then all of a sudden this guy comes into the bar, and another little chap comes in behind him, sort of having a go at him. They're having sort of a fight and a scuffle, and Gene Wilder kind of says, I'm going to go and sort this out and sort of calm it all down. But unbeknownst to him, so the little guy is a taxi driver, and the big guy is like trying to get out of paying him. But the little taxi driver guy, he manages to pick up some nutcrackers and actually get him round his nuts. So this big guy is like absolutely in agony when Gene Wilder goes over to start talking to him. And he thinks it's him that smoothed it all out, but obviously the big guy, he's going to do anything to get out of that nutcracker situation.
Because Gene Wilder, he's so chuffed at the end, isn't he? He's by the time he walks away, he's like, it looks like you two have started up a brand new lovely friendship. I'll let you guys sort of crack on. And the taller guy's like...
But he sort of does that little skip run when he comes back when he's all pleased with himself. Brilliant.
You don't really want to hurt this man, do you?
Oh, no, not at all.
Well, do you want more than what's coming to you?
No, that's right.
Well, then we're halfway home. Now, can't we work this out in a civilized manner?
It's okay with me.
By the way, sir, what is your name?
Alex.
Alex. And you, sir?
My name is Chico.
Chico.
See.
This, Alex, may I present Chico? Chico, this is Alex.
How do you do?
Yeah, and he's doing that punch bag thing, you know, the little ball thing that hangs down, and he goes over to him, and he starts doing it with his tongue out, and then the bloke has a go and punches it clean off of the ceiling. You just see Richard Pryor, woo, skip, woo, skip, shit.
Oh, well, yeah, let me just give them a bit of context. They lose their jobs, don't they, at the same time, on the same day, same afternoon. And then Gene Wilder has this idea about maybe going west from because they're in New York. Richard Pryor is an out-of-work actor who's only made $35 in 1 year, and Gene Wilder is like an out-of-work screenwriter. So Gene Wilder says, well, if we go to Hollywood, basically there's the Hollywood dream, and hopefully we can find success. And the first town they stop in on their road trip is he falls in love with. And they're in that bar, and then he looks over to the old cowboys punching the bag. He's like, I think this is brilliant. I love it here. What great inspiration for my book. And then that's why he goes up to speak to the cowboys to sort of get a feel and flavour of them and their personalities. And Richard Pryor's just like, oh, shit. Oh, shit.
And obviously it transpires that they get sort of a job as dressed up as chickens, aren't they? Doing a promotion for a bank. And then when they go off for their lunch break, two guys from the bar steal their chicken outfits, do their act, and then kind of rob the bank while they're on lunch. And they go back to work and instantly get arrested.
That's right, we bad. That's right. You don't want no shit either. That's right. Darn right. We don't want no shit.
When all of a sudden Gene Wilder spots the fly going around the room, and it lands on a bald fella's head, so he decides to smack it to see if he can kill it. Obviously, just smacks the bald guy's head.
Am I wrong, or is the bald guy? Isn't that Apollo Creed's trainer from the Rocky series?
Yes, I think it is. Yeah.
Oh, carry me back to old Virginia, Lord. Did you get it? Oh, there it is. Right on the end of your nose.
Was it they give him 125 years? The best one-liner there's Richard Pryor. I'm going to be an old man.
I love it when they finally get to jail, and Gene Wilder has those little interactions, doesn't he, with the prison guard? And the first one's when they're taking that exam, and he's like, this doesn't work for me. Can I try something else? And like the guard sort of gets up, and I think he goes to hit him, and he sort of slaps him back in his chair. And then that was the first one, and then the second one was when they're being guided to their cell, and he pushes him. Then he pushes Gene Wilder, and he turns around. He's like, "I've had enough of that." I said, "No more of this." He says, "I've had it up to here with you. Turn around, face the other way." And then he jumps on his back like a chicken back, and he starts singing this song. Oh my God. I was just absolutely crying.
That's when he stops and starts spitting at him as well. Skip!
Skip! Okay, no more hitting. Did you hear what I just said? No more hitting. Skip. All right, turn around. You want to stay late tonight? I said turn around.
See, with Grossberger, who's everyone's scared of, that really big bald guy.
Yeah.
He's actually, the only other film I've seen him in is The Running Man, because he sings in Stir Crazy and he sings in The Running Man, so he's got like this big operatical voice, hasn't he? So I imagine that's probably what he did normally anyway. But everyone in the prison scared of Grossberg and all that. And then because Gene Wilder's not playing ball and that, they put him in a cell with both of them, don't they? And they sort of like, Gene Wilder comes back to the cell and Richard Pryor's just squashed up against the bunks by Grossberger's belly, and he's just crying. He can't talk. But then, of course, by the morning when the guards go, they're thinking that he's like, Grossberger's eating them or something. they're all having a laugh together, aren't they?
They're playing cards, aren't they? And Grossberg is cheating on him. And he's pulling out like a card from his sock or something like that. Oh, the first time you see that character, they sat there in the cafeteria, aren't they? And again, it's another oh shit moment. And he walks in and he's looking for salt and he's kicking people's chairs over. So you think he's this big, massive brute, and is he like a serial killer or a mass murderer or something like that? And
killed his whole family.
Killed his whole family, and then he ends up being this sweetheart with like, the most beautiful singer voice in the world.
But that one, that's the bit when Gene Wilder doesn't even get to it, does he? Because he kind of creeps up and goes, hello. Grossberger gets that and he runs all the way back, doesn't he?
Yes.
Hello. Yeah, I do like the other character that I thought was quite funny in there was obviously the gay lad, the camp guy that's in there. He's got a thing for Richard Pryor and he keeps holding his hand and all that. It's moving it.
I'll get you a burger. I'll get you a burger.
Yeah, but he smacks his hand.
Do you mind? Why in the hell you kill your stepfather anyway, huh?
Criticizing my new fur jacket and slapping my hand.
I really enjoyed watching that again. I think I'd give that a 10 out of 10 because it's a classic. And it makes me laugh every time I see it.
I saw it when I was like a kid or a lot younger, and it's probably been at least 20 years since I've seen it. So the only thing I could really remember was you had them two in it, and I remember the front cover being that they were dressed up as the parrots or the chickens. I couldn't remember that they were sort of falsely imprisoned or wrongly imprisoned, and that it was a breakout film. What I do love about some of these films that we've been watching, and I've watched the two films we're talking about today, and what were the other films we've been looking at. I said to my missus at the end of it, I said, do you know what I love about these kind of films that were made sort of like late 70s or in the 70s and the 80s? I said, there's no fucking messing about when it comes to the third act. So at the very end, when they do finally get out, he gets the girl and they fuck off into the sunset. Job done.
You're right. Yeah, that's what I think it is. There's no big preamble. You're right. It's not drawn out. The third act, you get sorted out off into the sunset.
There was none of this 15, 20 minutes of winding it down. As much as I love The Lord of the Rings, it most certainly wasn't like winding it down for 45 fucking minutes like it was in the Return of the King. These films, they crack on from the get-go. They tell us a story. They get to the end. They complete it. Wallop.
You've just set me off about Lord of the Rings, though. You and I have got very different opinions on the Lord of the Rings films. I was so fucking bored. At the beginning of the first one, I saw at the cinema, and I really didn't know what the fuss was about. The second one, I didn't. I just waited for it to come out to rent. And then I think I went with you on the third one. But the whole end of the Return of the King, it's like, Christ, has he fucking returned yet or what? I mean, I don't even give a shit. You know what I mean? Well, that is shit.
Because Vader's beautiful black visage is sullied when he pulls off his mask to reveal a feeble, crusty old white man. They trying to tell us that deep inside, we all wants to be white.
Fucking load of old boring toss with goblins and gremlins and shit, whatever they are, fucking orcs and urks and fucking bloody dwarfs with big feet. Fucking hell. Nah. I mean, they even brought out fucking extended versions of it where each film was 3 hours long. 9 hours.
I always imagine that you sum up Lord of the Rings like that line out of Clerks 2 when he said, there's so much walking that even the fucking trees walk in it.
He's got the ring. He hasn't got the ring. He chucks the ring into a fucking volcano. The end. You can keep that Tolkien crap.
Catch him! Catch him, Derry! Derry, catch him! Ma'am, will you get out? Derry, will you catch him?
Watch Willow. That is a much better film. Much better.
Again, that's another one, isn't it? Just by the time you finish it, once he's taken out the bad guy, the bad woman, his little sorceress, done. That's it. He goes back home, and that's it. Let's just hope that this TV show don't fucking drag it all out any further.
Oh yeah.
And old Warwick Davis is back.
Yeah, I forgot they were doing that.
You won't be getting Val Kilmer though, God bless him.
All you got to think of, little Warwick. As long as he's doing it, he's taken a couple of days out of Tenable, go back into the forest and pretend he's a little wizard.
Are these condoms all right for you?
Yeah.
You sure they'll fit? Because it's one size fits all.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Well, we've got to be careful because you could sue us. Barbara, will these Johnnies fit a dwarf? Why? I've got one here. Depends on how big he is.
Yeah. Big enough, thank you.
So yeah, there. Okay, so that's Stir Crazy, lovely. That was brilliant. Yeah, that's a good one. So if we move on to the next one now, so it was. Did you say it was the third film from the two guys? Yeah. So See No Evil, Hear No Evil from 1989. This one wasn't directed by Sidney Potter, which the last one was. I knew you'd like that one. As soon as it came up at the beginning, I said to the missus, I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to drop that one in there at some point."
Poitier.
Poitier. It's Potter, I'm telling you. But so this one I've watched loads of times, absolutely loads. I absolutely love this film. You know, I'll skip straight to the end. I'd give this one 10 out of 10 because it just had me in tears throughout the whole film. They pull off the performances perfectly. Within the first scenes of them in the film, they're absolutely believable in their characters.
Yeah, definitely. I really love this one. Another one, very funny film. I'd again give it 10 out of 10. I think, again, we have to say it's of its time because obviously Richard Pryor's playing a blind person and Gene Wilder is playing a deaf person. Obviously, they didn't get a blind actor and a deaf actor to play them. And some of the things they're doing, which are funny, wouldn't go down very well now because of the whole, I want to say snowflake lot, but, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not too sure that they could possibly get away with it this day and age because there is quite an sort of a bit of an uproar in Hollywood at the moment. Obviously, with a lot of sort of whitewashing in terms of like casting actors and actresses in certain roles.
I don't think they really disrespect someone with disabilities. I think it's just the fact that they both have the disabilities, and that's where the story goes. But the whole point of it is they're actors, they're acting. So you're acting that part. Oh, I don't know. Probably guiding myself down a bit of an alley I don't want to go down, to be honest, to open myself up to scrutiny. Back to Hear No Evil, See No Evil. Brilliant film. Obviously, Pryor Wilder have got that rapport, camaraderie again. Some of my favourite bits in that would be the fight Richard Pryor has with someone in a bar, where obviously he can't see, but Gene Wilder's telling him where to punch using the old 4 o'clock, 5:15. What? Another bit when Richard Pryor's on, I think it's his sister he's on the subway with, and she says something about being black, and he kind of makes out that he's surprised. He's like, "What do you?" Because he's blind. What do you mean I'm black? Oh my God! Does Dad know? Which I think is really funny. Really funny.
But it starts off. Even starts off. She starts shaking her head, doesn't she? Because he's pretending to read the paper, but he's got it upside down.
What do you mean I'm not white? Why didn't you tell me this before? You're my own sister.
Tell him, Wally.
Goodness gracious, do you know a lot of adjustments have to be made? I have to cancel the swimming lessons.
Richard Pryor says to him, "I can sort all that out for you right now." And he just shoves that ice cream on top of his head. So, yeah.
One bit that really sets me off is the first time you really meet them, and it sets it up, and Gene Wilder's trying to cross the road, and he can't hear the guy bibbing the horn. And then the guy gives him some shit when he goes around the corner, and Gene Wilder keeps looking back at the truck driver who's now stuck in traffic. He gives Gene Wilder the old arm, the old fuck you, and then he turns around and says,
"You're a dumb idiot.
You talking to me?
You are a dumb idiot."
You talking to me, asshole?
Wally, don't start anything. Who are you talking to?
The man's got something to say. Let him say it.
Of yours.
Oh, I heard that song before, pal. Now listen, dickhead, you got anything to get off your chest?
Will you tell me who you're talking to?
No, say one more word. Just one more fucking word. Come on.
You dumb asshole!
The funniest part of the film for me, which I was crying with laughter, is when they're trying to get away from Spacey and the woman, I don't know what her name is. He says to Richard Pryor says to Gene Wilder, if you make a lot of noise, I'll be able to know where you're going. And he starts stamping his feet really hard on the floor. It looks ridiculous. It's good. I think with this film as well, why I think it works, for me anyway, with regards to the podcast we do regarding pop culture, there's lines in that I still use. I like the bit with the woman when she says, has he got any last requests? Because she looks like she's going to shoot him.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Richard Pryor says,
I suppose the fuck is out of the question.
Gene Wilder's obviously deaf, but he can read lips. But the police person is talking too fast. Isn't that the guy from Police Squad?
Yeah, I think it is.
And he's in Naked Gun. He's talking too fast. And Gene Wilder goes,
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm goddamn serious.
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a woman?
Yeah, that was brilliant. I also like the scene where Richard Pryor goes to get the job, and that's when they don't realise, they're not aware, but one of them is blind and one of them is deaf, and they're both pretending as though they're not. So Gene Wilder sort of, he goes to pick up all the camera stuff that Richard Pryor's knocked on the floor, and then when he pops up, Richard Pryor's like looking in a different direction. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, I'll take $300 a week. What are you talking about?
Yeah, because they're trying to make out that they're not, Wilder's not deaf and Pryor's not blind. Pure class. My other bit of that, which makes me cry with laughter, I think it's Richard Pryor's sister's kidnapped by them or something. And they've got him in this house and she's kind of tied to a chair in a greenhouse. So Pryor sends Gene Wilder down the hill and over the wall and that to go and rescue her. And then he boots the door in and obviously it lets off a massive alarm. Obviously he can't hear. And he's looking at her and he's going, shh. And the fucking alarm's going off. Because she's got a gag round her mouth. She's just shaking her head.
But what's brilliant about that is like the amount of effort and the amount of like concentration that he has from the moment he leaves Richard Pryor and he leaves him up in like the hill to be counting. He carries that log all the way down and he sets up on the wall, goes over the wall. He does all of this for like a good sort of like 2 or 3 minutes, and then comes to the end of it and she's like, "Oh no!" She knocks through the window. He's like, "Shh." Oh yeah.
Shh, I'm going to get you out of here.
The other moment with Gene Wilder that really gets me is the bit where he has to go get the coin, and the bird is having a shower. Joan Severance, that's it, yeah. And there's that whole bit in the shower. It's the bit where she comes out and she catches him, and he's like, "Put your hands up." And he sticks his hand in his pocket and he's pointing his finger as though he's got a gun, like the old classic 70s, 80s. Or if there's something pointy in your pocket, it must be a pistol. It must be a weapon. And he goes through all that, gets her to put her hands up, he gets a butchered of it all, and as he goes to walk out the door, he turns around. He's taking his hand out of his pocket, but he's still got a pointy thing in his foot.
You're really blind?
Yes, I'm really blind, man. What are you, fucking deaf?
Yes, I'm fucking deaf.
At the end, when I think there's only one guy left, or like one henchman left or something, and he's by a helicopter, and I think Gene Wilder's managed to get a gun and he's pointing at him and telling him what to do, but unbeknownst to Gene Wilder, there's all police and sirens going behind him and police ready, armed, and he's kind of doing what he says. But that's the thing he says to him. He goes,
"Come on, keep coming, you funny little turd."
That is something I still say to this day. you funny little turd.
Yeah, because then they go to walk off into the sunset, and the old police captain's like, "Oh, well, to shoot them." They're like, "No, but they're innocent." "What, you're telling me I can't shoot them? I've got this far. I just want to shoot them." It's like, "No, sir, you can't do that." He's like really disappointed, but he can't put a bullet in them.
Last film, another one I would say, watch it. It is very good.
He is preparing for you as we even speak. I smell heaven's bakery cooking up something good for you, sister.
I was going to say, I watched season 3 of Cobra Kai this week. Is that something you've watched yet? Or
it's funny you say that, because looking at the old database of movies on the internet, right next to the film we've just discussed is a picture for Cobra Kai. No, I haven't seen it. I mean, I was interested when they did the first series, because obviously that's a trip down memory lane with the old Karate Kid. And I was really surprised when I heard that they were going to do it. And I just thought, oh, fucking hell, here we go. They're going to remake one of my sort of like films of my childhood. And then they actually got the guys back, and then they flip it, don't they? So like the main guy in this one is old Johnny, and they're going to do a fourth season soon. So it must be popular.
It's brilliant, mate. I really enjoyed it. It's good fun. I've started watching it again from the beginning, so I've just finished the 3rd season. It's got all of them in it, even John Kreese. Obviously not Mr. Miyagi, which I'm glad they didn't go down the road of trying to get someone else to play him. Yeah, I think the thing is what you're saying there about the first season. The premise of it is obviously you've got Johnny Lawrence. He's not been able to get over the fact that he lost the fight to Daniel LaRusso. And it's kind of follows his life. But if you watch it, it's kind of like you do sort of now, you think you want the anti-hero to win. Because I think as well, when you see Daniel LaRusso in his car showroom around, you think, you are a prick, mate. You are an utter fucking prick. And obviously you're going to side with Johnny. And then if you go back and you watch The Karate Kid after you've seen that, and going on what he said, that this little kid basically turns up, starts giving it the big one, and buggers off with his girlfriend. And you think, actually, he's a fucking knobhead.
You ever hear of a tune-up?
You ever hear of a ritual killing?
I don't get it.
You know, on her face in public like that again, and you'll be one.
I think the biggest thing for me out of all 3 seasons is it's like Johnny Lawrence character is so out of touch with everything, and it's like he doesn't even know what the internet is, he doesn't know what Facebook is, and it's like, hang on a minute, he hasn't been frozen in time since the 80s, and it's like, oh, fucking hell. But and you've got what's her name, Elizabeth Shue in this series as well. She turns up for a couple of episodes.
Oh, yes, I had quite a crush on her back in the day. Oh, lovely.
I would not say no.
As much as I love the Cruise, I remember watching Cocktail and thinking, you fucking prick. How dare you? How dare you, Cruise?
Classic side boob in Cocktail.
It's a classic for Cruise story, though, isn't it? Redemption by the end of it. His characters always find redemption.
Compliance. I was thinking of that, the lockdown thing, where it's what was it they say? What was it? Stay in, stay safe.
That's what they say, but the majority of people just say bollocks to it, don't they?
Well, they do. But all I was going to say is they should add stay hydrated as well to it, because if they're going to keep having these lockdowns, I mean, Jesus Christ, the amount of internet usage, I'm surprised I'm not a fucking crisp. Not getting out. I mean, speaking of which, with all this, what's going on, what do you think of the old Capitol Hill Trump riot earlier this week?
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Honestly, I thought it was like an advert for some new show on one of the streaming services. I thought, what on earth am I looking at? It's like he's obviously he was rallying them up, wasn't he? Like a few days before, giving it all the big ones. His chest was all out there, wasn't it? He was all pumped up, wasn't he? Like
on the day as well, yeah.
Oh, it was on the day, was it?
It's on the day, yeah.
I was on the day. I thought you did it the day before. Oh, that's how out of touch I am. Anyway, he's there at the podium, half on it, stancing, you know, giving all the... He's like, yeah, we got to go down there. We got to give them what for. We ain't going to back down. You're like, mate, fucking hell. Just concede, mate. You lost. Come on, go out with a little bit of dignity. He's riled them all up. They're all like, got their little hats on, make America great again and all that. And then the next thing you know, they're storming it like it's something out of the fucking Purge. I'm thinking, what on earth is going on here? They've got weapons from... There was one geezer, right? I saw it in the background. There's one geezer in, like, full-on fucking riot gear. Like, where did he get that from? Did he go into Walmart and go, I'll have a medium off the rack there. I'll have that with the old hockey pads. And G.I. Joe. Have the military boots. Yeah, I'll have the G.I. Joe. I've got the beard for it. And I'm going to go down there and give it what for?
What I thought was funny, though, is they obviously with the footage that we've had here, but then they cut to this absolute fucking nutcase who's got a Buffalo Bob hat on with the horns and everything. He's painted up. He's got weird sort of tattoos of wars on his arms, and he's fucking going, Trump is our saviour, some sort of religious from the fucking moon horseshit. I mean, Jesus Christ. There's got to be saying something. I mean, the people that they interviewed on there as well, I mean, they all sounded, for want of a better word, like the old rednecks. They have it over there. So, God damn, we're going to get our America back. I love Trump. Shit. God damn it, boy!
Yeah, but they would, though, wouldn't they? They're not, you know. That's the thing with the media. You know, we're only subjected to what they're portraying, what they're showing us, and you know, they're not. You're not going to have someone sort of being interviewed and sort of go, yes, well, the thing is, I do really believe in Donald Trump and his politics. I think he's a shining, guiding light. You know, not that he'd be speaking in that kind of sort of well-refined British accent, but they do go for the old hillbillies. My brother lives in the States. He lives in North Carolina, so that is definitely a Trump state. And his neighbours are your mullet-wearing, gun-toting...
Oh, God.
Yeah. It's like geezers running around, shooting off shells in their back garden like it's nothing.
Sod that.
You know? And it's just... And it was just like loads, like fucking loads of them.
In June of 1775, the Continental Congress created a unified army. Our army manned the airports. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do.
4 people were killed. Tragic. Yeah. That should lay at the feet of Trump. He incited it, basically. And I know what I'm saying is that, probably generalising, but I do think the majority of the people that did that were, like we were saying, and there are Trump supporters out there that are more refined, if you like. I think even that they thought, oh, shit, they were embarrassed. They must have been embarrassed. It was a fucking global embarrassment at the end of the week, what was going on there.
Well, I think the government definitely were, because that was when they just went, fuck it, we've got to get rid of him.
If you boil it down to just the basics, it's either you're a cunt or you're not. And that's it.
No matter what it is, you either you are or you're not.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take it away.
A large latte contains more saturated fat than a cream donut.
Do you mean latte?
That's what I said. Latte.
Latte? Latte? Latte?
Yeah, like,
what pronunciation is that? Well, okay,
sorry.
Latte can't. Is it next? You'll be saying venti or grande or what? Bollocks! What is it? It's more saturated fat in a latte coffee, or I can't even say it now. Latte coffee or was it a cheese sandwich?
A donut.
a donut.
Cheese sandwich.
Is there more saturated fat in a milky coffee or a donut? Well, it depends, doesn't it? Because, I mean, like, when I go get a coffee, I always get a skinny one. So I always get, like, skimmed milk. So it depends if you're having full-fat milk. I mean, I suppose you would normally go with I suppose you go with a donut, wouldn't you? But this is I'll say donut, but I wouldn't be surprised if you turn around and say, no, it's a latte.
No, it's a latte.
It is a latte, is it? Is that the full? Is that the full-fat milk, though? It must be.
Oh, fuck me. I don't know. It's just a throwaway bit of true or false bollocks. Didn't know I was going to get all this. Latte or latte. I had a lovely packet of Doritos before we came on. All right. There we go. It was just true or false, mate. Just true or false. Next one. Before going on stage for public reading, Charles Dickens drank rum, sherry, and a pint of champagne.
I'll say yes, because I would.
Yeah, that's true, that is. So old Charlie Boy Dickey, he's a bit of a fucking drunk bloke. The next one, true or false? The question mark was invented by a cynical baker looking for a new shaped bun.
I will say true.
No, that's false, mate. Made it up.
Right.
Made it up in my own nut. All right. Yeah. Next one. Next fact, true or false? True or false? 10% of all the food stolen in Italy in 2006 was Parmesan.
Ooh. I'm going to say true on that one.
Spot on, sir. Well taken. Well taken. Right, next one. The first haircut was conducted under anaesthetic.
I'll say false because I said true a couple of times. I'll say it's a load of old bollocks.
Yeah, it's false. A load of shit, mate. Made it up. Made it up. Next one.
Boy.
In the Middle Ages, strapping a live chicken to the body was thought to be a cure for the plague.
That'd be very uncomfortable. I'll say yes, because you wouldn't want to go anywhere. You wouldn't want to go near someone who's got a live chicken on their leg, would you? You'd be going bloody ape shit. True.
So even that was true, that strapping a live chicken was a cure for the plague in the Middle Ages?
Yeah, why not?
No, it's bollocks. It's bollocks, mate. Made it up.
Oh, I can picture that, though. You say you wouldn't know. If you had a chicken going mad on your thigh, you ain't going to want to go nowhere near it.
In 2010, Iran banned mullet haircuts.
How can you ban the mullet? The Joe Dirt. Go on then. Yeah, they did ban it.
Yeah, they did. They did. You're right. You're right.
Did they really? They really? For how long?
I don't know. I've not looked that far. You don't expect me to follow up on these little questions. Next one. In the late 1700s, an order of monks named the Clench took a vow to only excretiate on a Sunday during worship.
True.
Right, so there's a load of monks, right, holding on, not having a shit until Sunday, and they call themselves the Clench. It's false, mate. I made it up. It's bollocks.
I love it,
though. Next one, true or false? Albert Einstein's eyeballs are in a safety deposit box in New York.
True.
Yeah, that's true. In the 1800s, ducks were called arse feet because their feet are so close to their bottoms.
Yeah, false.
Yeah, that's false. Made it up. Bollocks. Two more. True or false? Always true or false. Male honeybees die after sex. Their genitals detach from their body with an audible pop.
I've never heard it. It's the popping. I've never heard loads of popping going on. You get them sometimes. Just like my mum's neighbour once. They went on holiday and a queen bee got into their house and severely fucked up the house because they were all in there, hundreds of thousands of them. I remember looking out my mum's window. She said, "Well, have a look over there. What's that?" I said, "That's a rain cloud." She went, "No, that's a cloud of bees." So if they were giving it a load of "How's your father?" I mean, surely the popping going on there would have been, well, I think my eardrums would have exploded.
Definitely. Yeah. It would have been definite, wouldn't it? I mean, I don't know if you noticed if they had a good package on them while they were flying around.
Well, the bigger the package, the bigger the pop, wouldn't it?
Well, the bigger the package, the bigger they be, if they say. But no, it's not. It's not true anyway. It's bollocks. Last one then. Last one. True or false? Always true or false. A bowl of crisp at a royal garden party is considered a faux pas, but a crescent of Pringles could bring you a step closer to a knighthood.
That's false.
Yeah, that's bollocks. Load of old shit, mate. Load of old shizen. Well, that's it for true or false on this particular one.
Well, I should say you do. Well, I think you should be sorry, for Christ's sake. A family member dies, and you insult me. What the hell is the matter with you anyway?
So if you guys want to find out a little bit more, see what we're up to, feel free to follow us on Twitter at PodCultureV. And yeah, you'll find us on there and loads of up-to-date news. And you know, any questions, any suggestions, hit us up on there. We are live on the Twitter.
Down in the valley so low, hang your head over, hear the wind blow.